Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Wealth Bootcamp. I wanted to first of all say to you, hello, and this is the end of the year, and the end of the year is an interesting time for people emotionally. We tend to break our lives into these units, these discrete units called days and weeks and months and years. And really, it's all artificial. It's all psychological because it's all built on the fact that the sun or the earth rotates around the sun and it spins. So, once a year we go around the sun, and once every 24 hours it gets dark and then it gets light again, and we go to sleep and then we wake up and we feel like somehow today is disconnected from tomorrow, that each day is different. And on some levels, it's a good thing, right? Because it allows us to start all over again. In other ways, it's kind of it's artificial in the sense that there's nothing different about today versus yesterday, other than the fact that you went to sleep and it got dark. I mean, imagine if in your whole life, if it never got dark and you never went to sleep, then life would seem like a whole long day. And what that would allow us to do actually is it would allow us to connect that thing we call the future to this thing we call the present and this other thing we call the past. It wouldn't seem like two separate things. Have you ever looked at an old picture of yourself and thought about how many years have gone by? It almost felt like it was a different time and a different place. When I was that person back then, or when I was in that place back then, etc. We disconnect that because we have these chops of days and weeks and months and years. But if there were no chops, if life was just one long day, we would feel like they were all connected, that we're just sort of growing and evolving this way as time goes on, but there wouldn't sort of be these little chops. And the reason I bring that up is because I think about that when I think about the future. A lot of times when we think about setting goals for the future, we see it as something that's kind of way off, kind of disconnected from the present. We'll say, okay, I want to be here in 2 years, but somehow we might inadvertently disconnect the present from the future and almost think that these goals are just going to happen just because we just decided it was going to happen and didn't actually follow through on any work, didn't set new habits, new patterns that would get us to where we want to be. And so what happens is a year goes by, 2 years go by, and you say, man, if I had started back then, look at where I'd be now. And it would be easier to see that, I think, if you saw the connection, that today really is tomorrow, that they're all connected. Imagine if the whole next week the sun didn't go down and you didn't go to sleep. You would think of it all as one day. So if you wanted something done by the end of the day, you wouldn't start at the end of the day. You would start now, because you'd say, wow, I've only got one day to get this done. I'm going to go ahead and start this right now. But because you got these chops, it disconnects things. You understand? I hope that makes sense. I hope I didn't get too crazy and deep on you on this, but I had to share this with you. And so what I encourage you to do is really think about the next year as if it were one day. If you take all 8,760 hours, and yes, I do count the number of hours, I budget them. I create a time budget at the start of every year. I allocate maybe 2,500 hours a year or whatever to sleeping, and then the rest of the time I budget that, and I say, okay, I want to finish a book, so that's going to take about 150 hours. I want to accomplish this other thing, and that's going to take 250 hours. And I don't stick to it with a precise schedule, but it gives me a framework to let me know that this time I've been given is never going to be given to me again. Next year, I'm going to be a year older, and I won't be able to rewind the clock no matter how hard I try. So for yourselves, what I encourage you to do is really think about what you want to do this year, and make sure you're in that 1% of people who don't just set a goal, but they follow through with the goal. At the start of the year, everybody sets a goal. Everybody says it's a new year. I'm going to be a new person. I'm going to take on new challenges. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to save my money. I'm going to do this and do this and do this. And 99% of those people don't do shit. Excuse my French. They don't do anything. They work really hard through about February, and then they start to lull off. And then next year they start all over again, because they feel that somehow the changing of the year is some momentous occasion where they can make that decision to modify their life, when the truth is that you have the right to make that decision at any point throughout the entire year. You could do that on January 4th at 3 o'clock in the morning and just say, okay, from now on, for the rest of this long day, I think of my life as one long day. For the rest of the day, this is what I'm doing. This is the new habit I'm starting. I'm going to start it right now. And the minute you start a new habit, accumulation quickly begins, because big goals are accomplished with a series of very tiny steps. So the minute you decide to change your trajectory and start shifting and focusing on new habits, then before you know it, it'll become your lifestyle. You'll totally forget about the old you and be able to focus on the new you. So create a new you. Start now. Don't just wait till the start of the year. Start today. whatever that new you is, whatever habits that person has, start doing that right now. And then eventually just like they say, you are what you eat. Well, you are what you do. You're going to become what you do. Your life will become a manifestation of what you do on a day-to-day basis, where your habits are. The devil's in the details in the sense that your habits are what drive your outcomes, not what you say you want to be. It's what you are. You understand what you are, how you behave. It's not what you want to be, it's how you behave on a regular, consistent basis that will shape the whole outcome of your life. Much of your life is kind of defined by very simple things like, where you live, what job you have, the status of your relationships, your happiness level, how close you are to achieving key goals. That kind of sums up about 98% of your life. So sit down one day, look at every area of your life and look at where you are, and then the areas where you're not where you want to be, say, what new habits can I form right now that will get me to this other place that I want to be, as opposed to where I am right now. Don't just live life on autopilot. That's the key. A life must be lived intentionally, not accidentally. Live your life with purpose, live your life with meaning, live your life with intention. And I guarantee you, if you do that, people will notice a difference in you in just a few months. So that's all I really want to share with you. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I can say that this year has been awesome for me, mainly because of you, because I get to talk to you and I'm connected to you and I love you, and I really do. And that's all I really want to say. So have a great Christmas, a great New Year, and just go 2016. Go kick some butt, kick somebody's ass this year. That's all I want you to do. All right. So you guys take care. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from the Black Wealth Boot Camp. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.